Now before we start the video, I want to show you this. Now that I have your attention, I want to show you this. Now that you're confused and almost want to click off the video, we're going to move on. I am a die-hard Freedom Planet fan. Freedom Planet 2 is literally my most favorite game of all time. There is no other game like it in my opinion, and I've gone on tangents on why, but there's just one tiny little problem when it comes to Freedom Planet. And that is, it's an indie game. Now, there's nothing wrong with being an indie game, but every other franchise I like is not indie. So every other franchise that I like, I collect merchandise for. I collect Dragon Ball figures, I used to collect Sonic plushes and Mario plushes, and every now and then I'll get a Sonic figure. And even Pokemon. I'll get a pack of cards every now and then. Though scalpers have made that next one possible. If you're a scalper and you're watching this video, feel free to leave immediately. Or leave a snarky comment, and I'll make sure to pin it and we all can mock you. Anyway, that being said, I love merchandise. I love giving money to the company that made these franchises so I can put something and display it in my room. It hits a certain nerve in my autism that makes me want to collect more, so I can show off to the entire world that I am a fan of this franchise. So when I first became a Freedom Planet fan and played the first two games, I assumed that there probably wasn't a lot of merchandise. I assumed maybe there might be a couple t-shirts, but that is it. I just accepted that there probably isn't any merchandise at all, until I searched the words on Google, Freedom Planet Plushies. I just assumed there might be some customs or something, but I didn't know there were actual official licensed plushies. There's a Lilac plush, a Milla plush, and a Merga plush. Yes, Carol got kicked out of this club. These plushies heavily range in art style and companies. 3 different companies made these plushies, 1 for each plush. And there's a lot of interesting information that comes with these plushies. And one of the main reasons why I'm making this video is because these plushies are next to impossible to buy. You cannot go onto Sanshi's website, Level Up Outfitters website, or Makeshift's website and buy these plushies. They are impossible to buy right now. The only way you can buy them is by A, finding someone in person that has them and buying it, or B, going on eBay and buying it, or any other resale sites that might exist out there. And information on these plushies are very, very hard to come by. The release schedule was very random, and a lot of posts about these plushies either get deleted once they go out of stock, or people just don't talk about them enough for me to give concrete information. So if there is any misinformation in this video that you want to clarify that you know about, please leave it down in the comments, as I am unable to verify every piece of information, as I've only been a Freedom Planet fan for like 3 years. So for people that were around when these plushies were released, if you have more information, please let me know. Anyways, let's get started on the first plushie, which is going to be Lilac.
Carol, you stupid furball. Go take a flea bath some other time. I gotta check on those civilians, cuz we won't be able to get through the plot if I don't.
The Lilac plushie, made by Sanshi in 2016, is in the chibi art style that Sanshi likes to use. Sanshi is known for making plushies of different indie characters, most notably FNAF is their most popular line I've seen, and these plushies are known for having a card inside of the tag that you can take out and look at information about the character. I think it adds a lot of flavor, and I really like this kind of stuff. Really adds to the company's feel and adds to the plushie as a whole. Though it is very easy to lose the card, as a lot of resellers with these plushies lose the card and the tag. It's hard enough as it is to keep the tag on these plushies, so keeping a card inside the tag, especially when this franchise is aimed towards little kids, you know how this could possibly go. As you can see, this plush has a giant head and a small body, which I think works with Lilac's design very well. This plush has almost no quality control issues, though there is one thing that I'll get to, but we'll get to it eventually. But besides that, this plush is very well made. The only thing I'd like to say is that obviously this plush uses the Freedom Planet 1 design, not the Freedom Planet 2 design, as this was before Freedom Planet 2. This plush definitely goes for a more cutesy design and is not a full-sized plush that's trying to match the game character like Milla that we will talk about. And I think this adds a lot of funny and certain aura to the plush that you just can't explain, that you can only get by looking at it. If you zoom into the face of the Lilac plush, there's just a certain energy that it gives off, and I can't explain it at all, but it's amazing, and that's partly why I love this plushie so much. And yes, this is my favorite in the line, as I've gone on a lot about. If I had to give one critique though, it's the backside of the plush is kind of barren, but who's really going to display it from the back? It also lacks Lilac's tail, so there's that if you're a connoisseur on detail like that. Anyway, how do you get this plush now? Well, it was originally released into the $20 or to $30 range. I can't really find a certain price, but that's what I can find online, that it is around $20 to $30 on MSRP when it was released. But how much does it go for on resale sites? Well, take a look at this. This one's that wasn't mint, card was destroyed, and it sold for $450. And it wasn't even mint. And I was there when it went up on sale. I didn't buy it because I wasn't about to spend that much on a plushie that was not even mint. So, it sold. How fast did it sell? It sold in about 5 hours. This plush is heavily sought after, and if there's an expensive price, people will probably pay it. Also, the colors on these plushies can be a little different depending on the plush. You can have darker colors, lighter colors. I assume this might be because of the re-release that happened around 2019 to 2020. Again, information is very, very scarce on these plushies, as I heard there was a re-release in 2019 to 2020. Again, information is so scarce on this. I've heard that this is just extra stock that they were clearing out. I've heard everything. I don't know if there actually was a re-release in 2019 to 2020. Again, maybe the colors changed during the re-release. Maybe it's just a manufacturing issue, who knows. That tangent aside, I would like to say, actually, how much does this plush go for? Well, I can't give a firm price. It is sold for $450, so I'm going to say this. It does not have a price. If you own a Lilac plush and you are willing to sell it, you just have to make up a price. There really isn't a good price for these plushies, as they are so incredibly hard to find and no one wants to sell them that it's hard to give a price to them. So I guess the lowest I'll say is $100 and the highest I'll say is $750. That is the highest and the lowest it is sold for. Though the $750 listing did not actually sell, technically, as the person who bought it never actually received their plushie. Trust me, I would know. Anyway, let's move on to the next plushie in the line, Milla. I don't know where I'm putting this in the video, but I found this Reddit post that's just an absolute legendary monologue, and it literally has 0 comments. It has 12 upvotes, but the guy who posted is now deleted. And it says, "Today I was cleaning my room and dusting off Milla plush when I realized I am gently wiping dust off of a cute anime-esque anthro dog, listening to a metal cover of a song from a game I haven't even played. Some people go for a drive to clear their mind. I might go for a run through Dragon Valley to do that." This is probably the most legendary post I've ever read in my entire life. This is, like, how has no one, like, dude, this is absolute cinema. The Milla plush was released in 2019 by Level Up Outfitters. Now, this plush is interesting because it doesn't use her Freedom Planet 2 design. It uses a unique design based off this concept art, as you can see by the little straps and something I'll mention later. This plushie is definitely a more unique looking one, and I think it's fine. I have a lot of issues with this plushie, but it comes from the fact that Milla kind of looks like she's looking up all the time. Now, I think this might be a quality control issue, as some of these Millas look fine and they're looking straight ahead, but some of them look like she's just staring at the ceiling. Another issue is that she has a backpack. Yes, a backpack. This is actually what this is, and it might be a thing that they cut from Milla's character in Freedom Planet 2. This backpack is made out of this felt material. This felt material, trust me, I know from experience, can get dust and fuzz attracted to it like a magnet. You'll be amazed at how much it absorbs. And this plush is definitely not machine washable. And it's almost impossible. It's like trying to dry a car, even your dog. It's so hard. Just don't put this plush in dirty areas, please. I beg you. If you own this thing, do not do that, as this felt material around her chest and her backpack will attract dust and fuzz very easily. My last issue with this plush is that the tag is put on her ear. Now, this tag is very big, and I like how the tag looks, but it almost covers her entire body and kind of distracts from the actual plush. So if you like to keep the tag on like I do, this is very, very distracting. That being said, I do think that the kind of derpy look of the plush fits Milla very well, and I would rather Milla have a derpy looking plush than someone like Merga. I find it ironic that the tallest plush in the line is Milla, who is also the youngest of the characters in canon. And despite all the negatives I give it, it's still crazy that we even have a Milla plush, let alone 3 Freedom Planet plushies in the first place, so I think they did a good job making this plush. Now let's get into some background on the plush. The creators, Level Up Outfitters, are not around anymore. It appears that around 2020 is when they shut down, as that's when their last Instagram post happened, and their website seems to be down and you can't even view it. It's completely dead. So that means I can't even view the Milla plush listing. Same with the Lilac plush, but Sanchi is still very much alive. Like the Lilac plush, this one also got a re-release, though information again is very scarce. When it originally released though, it was around $20 to $30 range as well. When it got re-released, it was a whopping $7. Yes, I am not kidding, $7. Here's the proof. Milla's voice actress advertising the plush, and it is $7. You could have had this Milla plush that goes for $750 for $7 back in 2020 to 2019. Instead, you know what you can buy for $7? The Free Planet plush that is in a 4th of July plush for like $8, and this thing just covers the eBay page, and it makes me go insane because you search Freedom Planet plush and I get this stupid, ugly bear that is no one wants him because it's only sold once, and it's just... Anyway, sorry about that. Apparently some people that ordered this plush never got it because the company shut down. So apparently if you ordered it too late, the company went out of business and you just wouldn't have received it. Now, I can neither confirm nor deny this, as this has only been said by someone in my comment section, but I believe them honestly, because this company is very scarce to find information about besides some of the stuff that they made. So, how could you get this plush right now? Well, like I said, the most expensive one that is ever sold is $750, tagged and bagged, and basically untouched. Now, just like the Lilac plush, it is basically impossible to give an actual price on these plushies, as these are just incredibly rare, and I just can't get any good concrete price, as they all sell for wildly different prices. So, like I said, I'm just gonna give it the same as Lilac. You're gonna have to come up with your own price yourself, buddy, because there's nothing I can say about this. Moving on to the next plush, and the last plush, the Merga plush.
Who is this? I actually don't know who it is. I thought it was Amy at first, but Amy's not purple. It looks more robotic to me. And is that like a... I don't even know. Oh, that explains it.
Adrian.
The Merga plush is the most recent plush to be released and was released in 2023 and was made by Makeship. This plushie follows the Lilac plush and uses a chibi art style. This plushie is probably the funniest to me, in my opinion, because Merga's character design is very complicated and has a lot of parts to it, and so condensing that large, complicated design condensed down into a chibi plush makes it look like this, and that's hilarious to me. This plushie looks almost nothing like Merga, and I think that adds a certain meme aura to it, just like the Lilac plush. This plushie was available to purchase for exactly 11 days. Yes, 11 days. You had from February 20th to March 4th, 2023 to buy it. If you weren't around for those days, or maybe you're a little bit late, sucks to be you, I guess. You're not getting your plush. Have fun spending 10 times more on resale sites. So is the plushie actually good? Well, like I said, I think it's interesting because the plush is very funny to me. Like, the big head and little body just doesn't work for Merga at all, and it really shows. Just look at the back of her head. It's completely barren because they have to exaggerate the head, so it just has this giant bald spot here, and that's hilarious to me. I think this plushie should have been like the Milla plush and been an actual to size one. I think the Milla plush and the Merga plush should have swapped, in my opinion. Now that we got all of that out of the way, let's talk about this plush's rarity. Now, we actually know how many are floating around out there, not counting extra stock in the warehouse. This plush sold a total of 401 units. That means that there are 401 of them out there that could potentially be bought or sold. Most recently, one sold for $35. Now, there is a reason why this sold for so low. I'm not going to get into that now. That's a story for another day when I eventually get my hands on these plushies. But a bit before that, one sold for $150, which I think is a more realistic price. This plushie also had the same MSRP ballpark, around $20 to $30. It's really hard to find a definitive price on this stuff because I can't find a definitive price anywhere. So again, if you know the definitive prices of these plushies, please leave it down in the comments so we can have accurate information for this stuff. But besides that, that's all the plushies reviewed and looked at. Now, I want to get into something very important regarding these plushies. Freedom Planet as a franchise is on hiatus right now. Galaxy Trail is currently working on Chrono Gear Warden of Time, so that means at the moment, no Freedom Planet content is being developed. If Freedom Planet 3 never gets announced or released, I highly doubt that will happen, by the way. I'm pretty sure there will be a Freedom Planet 3, it's just not anytime soon. Don't worry, guys. I'm here to hold you over for Freedom Planet 3. But like I said, if Freedom Planet 3 never happens, I am content with the first two games. All that being said, I have one plea for Galaxy Trail. All I ask, if Freedom Planet 3 never happens, please either make a new plushie or re-release one of the old ones, like the Lilac plush. Preferably the Lilac plush, as that is the hardest to get. Please, I am begging you. That's all I want. If Freedom Planet 3 never happens, I will never ask Galaxy Trail ever again for anything. Just the Lilac plush re-release. If it happens, I will never ask anything ever again. Ever. I will never ask anything. Just the Lilac plush is all I want, okay? Cool. Now, why do I think these plushies need to be re-released? The fact that someone has to spend upwards to almost $1,000 to get one of these plushies is terrible. Now, a lot of the times people will compare these kind of situations to these Sonic plushies. Sonic has a lot of plushes out there, but the most expensive Sonic plush, I think, is the Soap Shoes Sonic plush. This plush is very expensive, but it's not the only Sonic plush to ever exist. There are boatloads of Sonic plushes out there. This isn't the only one. A Lilac plush? There's only one of those. A Merga plush? Only one of those. A Milla plush? Only one of those. The only other way to get these plushies is to make them yourself. And there are a lot of good custom plushies of these characters, but there's always that good seal of quality of having the original. I just want these plushies to be re-released. Galaxy Trail, someone at Galaxy Trail, if you're watching this, please, I beg you from the bottom of my heart, please re-release these plushies. Or we can make a new Lilac plush with her more recent design. I'll take that as well. One last thing. So I'm not going to lie. This video was originally going to end super depressingly, saying how it's impossible to get the plush, and how the only hope I have for getting this plush is if they re-release it. And while I still really want a re-release, I think I'll find the plush eventually. I mean, it's only a matter of time. I can't be down about trying to find this plush. I will find it eventually. It doesn't matter if it's gonna be 1 year, 2 years, maybe even a couple weeks, maybe a couple months, maybe a couple centuries. I won't stop until I have this freaking dragon in my hands. Alright? Cool. Though, Galaxy Trail, if you're watching this and you want this to be easier on me, you could just re-release the plush. That would also be very good. Alright. Bye. They announced what before a re-release?
Stay classy.